Hi everyone. So I came up with a new idea for cabinets with shapes. And I know I already recorded a video kind of similar to this idea, but here is some triangles. And this is like kind of like what you will see when you're looking at a cabinet straight on like that, right? So it'll look like that. But this is more of a 3D type of view, like a 2D or whatever. This is more like a 3D illustration here. And basically what will happen is these will be the reinforcement bars for the shelves, which will create shapes. Here, I have this type of shape here. So it's not like this, like wooden, just straight up and down reinforcements, which create what appears like rectangles. And here it looks like a box, then a rectangle, then a box. Or the box could be a square, rectangle, square, rectangle, 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 rectangle. So instead of it just being straight up and down like that with no style, well, it has style to it, but what I'm describing is something like this. And obviously it being, heavy duty, but small prototypes can actually be created with gauge wire or like paper clips. Small little prototypes can be manufactured. So it doesn't have to be something very big, to start with. I also shared like circle ones. Any type of shape that you can think of. So obviously this will be the reinforcement. The shapes will be the reinforcements. This here will be the actual shelving, like this, for you to put items on. Like I have shoes, water bottles, my wallet, toilet paper, my Bible, water bottles, my glasses. I occasionally place my iPad on here, my cell phone, planners, stuff like that. So, like I said, instead of the wood just going up and down, it will be rings. So these rings, in order for this to work effectively and, where it could hold a lot of weight, basically, it would need somewhat of a flat surface. And then from that point on, it won't be flat anymore. But it'll still look round. And basically, it'll have some holes in that ring to basically um, you know, put a screw of some sort through here, and then over here it will have the washer. So basically this here is like right here somewhere. Right there. And it's basically enlarging that so you guys can see how these rings are attached to the wood. And obviously it just won't be one. So it'll have one ring, and then the very back of it will have another ring. So when the wood sets over this, like this, there will be one ring in the front and one ring in the back. And obviously this board, there will be another one down here. And it'll basically be a shelf, right? And that pattern would just repeat itself. In this case, 3 times. Like that, right? So right here, it'll have a screw, a bolt thing. It'll have one on the top of this board, on top of this board, top of this board, top of this board, on top of this board. And also on the bottom of this board, the bottom of this board, the bottom of this board, and then that ring on the other side, there'll be a screw right there. You guys see that? So like when the shelf at the end of the day, it'll look like something like this. So this will be the top shelf and then the bottom shelf. And obviously if you have something in this shelf here, the bottom one, obviously the reinforcement bars will be somewhat in the way. It won't be like a clear opening like, you know, like these type of cabinets, right? But that's the whole point of doing it this way, is just being creative and having fun with this whole idea. So, you know, like if you were to place, like let's say a planter here with a little plant, little flower or whatever. I'm not the best artist. Then obviously you would have to insert the plant through one of the holes. I mean, through one of the circles here, through one of the circle reinforcements that basically all it's doing is keeping these boards together, keeping everything together, but at the same time, it is creating this shelf without it wobbling, without it breaking apart. It's heavy duty. And then if you want to, you know, you can attach another ring above this one, and basically it'll work the same way. So that, you know, so let's say you want to add another ring, right? Now, I said that the ring will have a flat surface, And then you have the piece of wood. And then if you want to add another one, you would basically attach the other ring right above the wood. And this is where you would put your screw here. And then obviously this here will be the washer, the nut. So you have the screw and then you have the nut. And this is what's going to hold these two rings together in between the wood. So obviously the ring will come out like this, and then this ring will come out obviously down here. But it will be, these will be made equal size equal size. This one and this one. Circles. I think I spell circles right. I don't know if it's CIRCLES or CY. I think it's CY. But anyway, circles made of equal size right here and right here. So I could create something like this. So now, by having this type of idea, now you can create another shelf and you can stack it up as high as you want. Right? Anyways, and that's just circles. I mean, I was thinking about these type of patterns, and there's different shapes out there. It doesn't even have to be, it could be something like X's, and you can consider them as, you guys can consider them as diamonds or whatever. And basically, it would just be the same thing. It would just be some form of reinforcement bars like this. Because this one is a straight, this is like a pyramid. And obviously, it's connected on all four ways. And the center point is right here. So that's what creates this here. On this particular shelf here. And then in here, you'll be able to put your stuff in it. And it'll be more elegant, more, obviously it's different. It's not the same. But it doesn't even have to be this way. It can be like the circles where one is pushed to the far side of the furniture and the back side of the furniture with the bolts so that it can hold this together using the shapes without, like a straight board like this. So yeah, that's basically all this will be. And basically, if you're a designer, then you'll be able to come up, like if you're a digital designer or an artist, you'll be able to, create a bunch of these type of ideas and present them like in a magazine and offer them to people for, for sale, like offer them as a buying product. And if someone is interested in purchasing something like this, then basically it can be manufactured, it can be created. But to make these type of circles and a flat bottom and a flat bottom, flat top, it would require, some machinery to manufacture these rings or these type of shapes here, which I have no money to invest into this stuff, obviously, but I believe that, people, designers and all that, I think that you guys can create just different examples just out of this one video and everything I just said through this one video, and present that to people. And if they're interested, people that might be fascinated with circles or other shapes, then, they might consider something like this. But obviously, if you're just wanting a cabinet, just like everyone else, just to hold random stuff without having any style to it, then that's when you would just buy a shelf like at Home Depot or Lowe's without any of this style. Because at the end of the day, it's doing the same thing, but this is more elegant. And these metal frames, these reinforcements, because I put wood planks with metal triangle shaped reinforcements. So these reinforcements don't necessarily just have to be metal. They could be made out of stainless steel, copper, chrome. It could have a chrome finish. They could be made different styles with different taste. They could be made out of wood, just like wooden, nice style type of, designs and finishes, different finishes. So I think there's a lot of potential in this idea, and someone can technically create a business just doing this type of stuff. And obviously, creating circles with a flat top here so it could align directly above the wood, and then above it and below it when creating a shelf. It would require a machine, a computer to mass produce these and manufacture these accurately with, precision, and them getting mass produced, copy after copy after copy after copy after copy, millions of times, on point. So all a carpenter would have to do is measure in sequence form from, the beginning of the board, and they'll measure where the first screw through the wood would go. Then from that point, it'll be measured in sequence from that point on, all the way through, depending on how long, the, 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 the person, the consumer wants this to be. And different ones can be created. I mean, some can be created at 2 feet, 3 feet, 6 feet, 10 feet, etc. The list goes on and on and on. But typically, there's always a small, medium, and large, right? These are the options and sizes. So you have either a small one, medium one, or a large one, right? Or even XL or whatever. Or just custom. Something more custom. So, like basically, if you wanted to purchase something like this, even an instruction manual can be created and like placed into the packaging box so that when a person purchases at like Home Depot or Lowe's, then they will know exactly how to put it together. Similar to someone following a simple procedure of, attach A1 to A1 or whatever the case may be. Like other, like homemade or store bought products that someone would have to put together at home. Like I bought this chair, for instance, this office chair. When I received it, it came with an instruction manual, and the chair wasn't like this. I had to like use a special tool that they sent me, and I put it together. But it was clear, straightforward stuff. So that's exactly what I'm talking about here. So once, all that is taken care of, then all a person would have to do is just put it together really quickly. And then they'll have, something like this, but with style once they put it together. And they'll be very happy about it because, I mean, it would take a lot of time and effort to create something like the finished product would look like. As a matter of fact, I don't even think anyone is able and capable of creating something like this without technology. I mean, people can do it. It would just be like back in the day, someone creating a canoe or carving, with a knife or with a X-Acto knife or a carver's, knife, to, carve wood out, to create like different little things like animals, like the Indians. They would go and find wood and they'll like carve out the wood and they'll create like wolves, bears, coyotes, skunks, different stuff, right? I mean, even that, it would take a long time, but now we have machines that can do the carving for us and the etching and all that stuff. So this idea is way outside of my budget. I can't even do any of this, even if I wanted to. So, but I know that this here, we can sell a bunch of them like nothing. I mean, a lot of people would love to have something different. And not everyone has this. So, and not just that, but there's different shapes to choose from. And obviously, like, I can go on my iPad and I can type in like shapes and images. Right away, I see a star. A star. There's a cylinder. There's a heart. Pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon. Look at this one. Parallelogram, right angle. You know, so it could be a trippy looking, like pillar type of thing. It doesn't have to be what we see and what we're accustomed to and what's easy for us to, put together. Obviously, putting one wood against another and then, adding a few nails or screws is pretty simple for us to do, right? Anyways, I made this one out of fence boards. Very affordable little thing, super lightweight, Anyway, so there's a bunch of shapes. It doesn't have to be, like the ones that I drew out here. It could be any types of shapes. And it's kind of like this stuff, like this is geometric. I was thinking about the origami type of stuff. This is so cool. See, and I even thought about like a cell formation type of idea. Oh, look at this. This is exactly like this type of thing that I'm talking about here. This is geometric shapes building set. So yeah, this is super cool right here. So imagine that type of style. Like with this stuff here, this here. But obviously the bottom will have the shelf, the top will have the shelf. Even a circle. Look at the circle. Like this here can be a shelf. Yeah, but anyway, and it's all math. Look at that. 60%, and the center point is at 120%. And then we notice that the triangle is within a circle, a perfect circle, and a perfect circle creates or is 360 degrees. There's the octagon, the center point will be at 45 degrees. It is also within a circle, 360 degrees. And then to create the octagon within the circle is at 135 degrees, which creates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points within that circle. So it's all math. It's pretty cool. There's also like this type of stuff. Look at this. That's super cool right there. Look at this here. See how it has the outline? That's super cool as well. So it'll just be a matter of someone, really investigating and coming up with different styles like this to, doing some research, looking at a lot of images to be able to present those ideas to people, illustrating those ideas to the mind, effectively without creating any form of confusion, obviously. Look at these here. This is second grade geometry worksheets, 3D shapes. So it's pretty much like 3D shapes. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for, like 3D shapes. I mean, look at this. This is super cool. Anyways, these are just a few examples. And what I did is I went to Google and I just typed in shapes in the search option. So, you guys can look at your own, do your own research and stuff like that at home or whatever, however you want to do that. But going back to my drawings and stuff like that, to basically share this idea with everyone, this is what I brainstormed in my mind just very quickly throughout the day, and I just wanted to share this idea. I just didn't have the time, honestly, and I obviously couldn't describe this verbally to paint a perfect picture in your mind or the minds of the hearers and listeners. So I had to technically stop what I was doing to draw these, kind of like these examples on paper. So that's why this information is easier to process and why you probably understand exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyways, I gave it the title Cabinets with Shapes.